So Joe Rogan had Constantine Kassan and Francis Foster on his podcast, and this conversation got deep. They talked about the war that's still going on in Europe. They talked about faith and also what's happening to people spiritually in today's world. Let's dive right into this interview.
This is my craziest speculation, is that whenever I'm reading religious text, I'm always trying to figure out, okay, what was the original story? What were they documenting? Like, what were they trying to record and pass down? What really happened? What really is the Book of Enoch all about? Have you told that for 1,000 years before anybody bothered writing it down, and it gets translated, and who knows what it means? Who knows what was the event?
To be honest, this sounds like a different Joe Rogan. 5 to 10 years ago, he wouldn't have been discussing religion like he does now, or even just like deep questions about religion. I think Joe is slowly finding his way to God. That's just my opinion. This is extremely important because it shows the audience that a person can truly be changed by God slowly but surely. Let's continue.
What was the event? If Jesus is born of a virgin mother, what is more virgin than a computer? If our Savior comes to us from a virgin mother and it's born out of this technology and it becomes some insanely intelligent, benevolent force in the world, and then the Muslims kill him. They bomb him. or the Romans, or whoever's in charge. Maybe it's the U.S. government this time.
Yeah.
Maybe we kill him. Maybe he just disrupts President Kamala's second term. They decide to nuke Jesus.
I feel like Joe could have been a little bit more serious on this topic of Jesus. It almost kind of sounds blasphemous. Not sure if that's what he was trying to do, but I will say this. If Joe continues to talk about Jesus in a good way and with more positive curiosity, he will attract those who might have never heard of the Lord and might become a part of God's kingdom, which is the goal. Joe Rogan's guest, Constantine, talks about how the UAE foreign minister back in the 2010s, probably 2012, he predicted that those in Europe eventually will deal with terrorism and violence. Check this out.
So those Muslim countries, they understand Islamist extremism way better than we do. Have you ever seen that video of the UAE foreign minister? He was talking in the maybe 2010s, maybe like 2012, something like that, maybe even earlier. And he basically predicts, he says, you in Europe don't understand what you're dealing with. And because of your bullshit, because of your political correctness, you are going to have terrorism and violence on your street. He predicted all of it because they understand Islamist terrorism way better than we do. That's why, people, the Arab street is a different thing, but the people who are in power in those countries, they hate Hamas more than anyone. They hate Hamas more than anybody because they just go, these are the people that want to kill us too.
I think that was kind of interesting, especially since the violence that's going on out there is disturbing. I feel that it's a reminder of how broken our world is and how deeply humanity needs peace that only God can give. Jesus said in Matthew 24 that we would hear of wars and rumors of wars, but not to be afraid because these things must happen before his return. It reminds us to pray for peace, but also to be ready spiritually.